A care worker who moved from Nigeria to work in Northern Ireland's healthcare sector died after running away from a gang of youths. Okusanya yearned for a better life, a life brimming with opportunity and promise. Leaving behind her beloved Nigeria, she embarked on a courageous journey to Northern Ireland. She sought a brighter future, not just for herself, but for her family back home. Anu, a woman of immense warmth and compassion, found her calling in caregiving. She dedicated herself to her work, her gentle touch bringing comfort and solace to those under her care. Her colleagues were drawn to her infectious laughter and unwavering kindness. Anu, with her bright smile and infectious spirit, quickly became a cherished member of her new community. Her days were filled with the simple joys of life. She explored her new surroundings, the lush greenery of Ireland a stark contrast to the bustling streets of Lagos. She immersed herself in the local culture, making an effort to fit into the new society and new lifestyle in Newry. Anu thought she had found a place she could almost call home. Little did she know, a shadow lurked around the corner, threatening to shatter her newfound peace. The evening descended, casting long shadows over the streets of Newry. Anu, returning home from a long day of caring for others, found herself an unwitting witness to a terrifying scene. A group of youths, their faces contorted with anger, were gathered on the street corner. Their shouts, laced with menace, sent chills down her spine. Fear, primal and instinctive, surged through Anu's veins. She froze, her breath catching in her throat as she witnessed the brutal assault unfolding before her. The youths, their aggression escalating, seemed oblivious to her presence. Or perhaps they simply didn't care. Panic seized her, as the same youth had previously harassed and threatened her. Adrenaline coursed through her body. She knew she had to escape, to find safety lest she became victim. With a burst of energy, Anu turned and fled, her heart pounding against her ribs. She ran blindly, her mind awhirl with terror, the youth's laughter echoing hauntingly behind her. Anu's desperate flight was a race against time, a desperate bid for survival, a race that would ultimately prove futile. She ran into a neighbor's home after encountering the young people, but as she went into the house, she had an asthma attack which led to multiple heart attacks. The PSNI said officers performed CPR and applied a defibrillator to try and save her life, when Anu became unwell after having witnessed an altercation in Newry on August 24th. District Commander for Newry, Mourne, and Down Sup Norman Hazlitt said, "She was taken to hospital but sadly passed away some days later. Our inquiries have established that this verbal altercation involved a number of individuals to which Anu was a witness but not directly involved." Supt Hazlitt sent his sincerest condolences to her family and friends, adding that anyone with more information should contact the police. Anu's brother, Gabenga Oluwasanya, told BBC News NI she ran in fear as she had been previously attacked on 2 other occasions in the same area. He said, "Words cannot describe what we are feeling right now." The attack Anu witnessed that night was not an isolated incident. It was a terrifying echo of previous encounters that had left her deeply traumatized. Twice before, she had been targeted, her sense of safety shattered by the cold reality of prejudice. Anu had confided in her brother, Gabenga, her voice trembling as she recounted the fear that had become her constant companion. The fear of walking alone at night, the fear of encountering those who saw her as different, as other. Gabenga said his sister moved to Northern Ireland more than a year ago to work in the health sector, adding she had finished a 12-hour shift on the night of the incident. She called the police after witnessing an attack walking home from work on August 24th. He said, "She ran into a neighbor's house just to take cover. As she came in, she couldn't say anything. She was gasping for breath." Police arrived within a few minutes and saw Anu struggling to breathe, Mr. Oluwasanya added. He said she had been frightened after being attacked in June when a boy threw liquid over her while she was walking on the street in broad daylight. So they were known to her, and that's why she knew she had to run to protect herself, Mr. Oluwasani explained. In an earlier incident, the gang followed Anu to her home, banging on her door and terrorizing her. Mr. Oluwasani said both attacks had been reported to police. Anu's story is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of minority communities, the constant threat of violence casting a long shadow over their lives. Speaking on the BBC's Good Morning Ulster program, Justice Minister Naomi Long said Anu's death was terrifying, adding that ethnic minorities in Northern Ireland are living in abject terror. The minister said, "When someone is targeted in a hate crime incident and they perceive it to be because of who they are, that has ramifications in the wider community. It creates a fear with other people who share those characteristics, who then believe they may be vulnerable to attack. It is just tragic. These circumstances are just appalling. I really do feel for the family. The circumstances surrounding Anu's death are heartbreaking and have sparked an outrage and a collective demand for justice. Ethnic minorities are living in fear. The government and police need to address the rising tide of hate crimes to ensure that no other family has to endure the pain of losing a loved one in such a senseless manner. The call for justice transcended the streets of Newry, resonating across Northern Ireland and beyond. Anu's death is a symbol of the urgent need for greater understanding, tolerance, and a commitment to creating a society where everyone feels safe and valued. The fight for justice for Anu is a fight for a future where diversity is celebrated, not feared, and where everyone can live without the fear of violence or intimidation.